Howdy everyone, it's me once again, the one and only Killer Rodan, and today, as you can see, I'm still continuing my Disney movie marathon, where I'll be talking about the movies, of course, TV shows, merchandising, theme parks, I don't know, whatever the case may be. So here we are, I reckon. So for today's video, I figured I would review yet another TV show, of course. I just figured I would do a review for the second season because I've already discussed the first one, so here we are, I reckon. Though, honestly, if I'm going to really be upfront with you, this pretty much feels exactly like the first season. Just more or less the same thing, if anything, I guess. But maybe, if anything, maybe slightly better. Not by much, but maybe a smudge. Maybe a smudge better, I guess, but I'll just leave it at that, I suppose. When it comes in quality, the animation seems okay. The writing is I guess it lacks quality. It's cheesy. The dialogue is really cheesy. And the dialogue is just not something I would say the Shakespeare. Not that I was expecting anything like that. So my expectations were fairly low when it comes to this. Of course, yes, not that I was expecting anything spectacular from this because obviously not whatsoever. And yeah, the first season gave me a bad first impression, really. I mean, okay, it's not that the first season was the worst thing I've ever seen because it clearly wasn't, but it wasn't anything spectacular either. It was somewhere in the middle. And seeing the second season, it didn't really change my mind at all whatsoever. It didn't really change my mind whatsoever. And okay, I'm glad it's been a bit more inclusive, and I'm glad they've created their own original character, which I get to in a moment. It just kind of feels like they don't really do much with these characters, any of them really. And of course, thank you for anybody for tuning in, obviously. So anyway, of course, like always, let's just get into the plot, shall we? So here we go, I reckon. So anyway, for this season, for the second season, it's pretty much continuing the events of what the Little Mermaid has been doing, of course, Ariel. And like I said, the format of the storytelling is more or less the same thing. We can see that we get to see Ariel, the princess character, the Princess Mermaid, she goes on these adventures, and of course, with her sidekick characters, of course, these characters go along with her, of course, whatever may be going on. So Ariel, of course, is going to be this teenage mermaid who lives on the sea, of course, with her father, the Sea King, along with the six sisters, along with also the various friends. So together, obviously, they will attempt to keep her safe from harm, of course, and of course, make sure that nothing bad happens to the kingdom as enemies do attempt to ruin the peaceful kingdom. Of course, Ariel takes everyone on this grand adventure, so to speak, and like I said, it's going to carry on what was going on from the previous season, of course, and we could see that in this way you could see the character just trying to do a thing. Of course, we get to see the villain from the movie. Of course, she's trying to do, or yeah, of course, I would say this character. Yeah, the one from the movie. Obviously, we get to see her here, and I guess in some ways it's fine because considering the fact that okay, this tells you that these characters had met before, as this TV show was intended to be a prequel to the movies, of course. In the animated movie, the first one anyway, it came off like Ariel and the one villain character, like they just met up then and there. Of course, the movie didn't really give any context to these two characters' backstory, not really. But given what happened in the TV show, it does show that these two characters actually knew each other beforehand. Unlike the movie version didn't really give much detail on the backstory of that past relations. Not really. So yes, I'll give this season that. At least it does provide some idea that these characters actually knew each other for a little while prior to the movie. So that's a nice touch. I'll give the show that. That was actually a nice touch. Though it does come to the question that what about the other creatures? What about anybody else that's like her? Any powerful creatures, supernatural things that's really strong? There should be more individuals like her, right? So what about them? Where are they? Who are they? So it does leave the open of a possibility for more of these kinds of creatures existing under the sea, I guess. Which unfortunately the show doesn't really go into it really. It does not go into any kind of information about this kind of thing or any possibilities really. So it kind of goes into my problem I had with the first season where there's no real, I guess, character development. Not really at all. Because a lot of these stories just happens with, and whatever problems are just resolved within that one episode. And that was it. And just let the watch repeat, let the watch repeat. What happens in one episode is just get repeated like 50 times over. So, yes, watching this does get rather repetitive. And yeah, it does get annoying, if you ask me, folks. Okay, not that anybody was asking, but whatever. Anywho, but that's about this, what this is about. Of course, Ariel is going to have various encounters with several different characters. So that's good, I guess you can say. Well, that's nice. I like that. Like, in some ways, because it does give you the an idea how many people are in this kingdom, I guess. But at the same time, that's kind of what ruins it because nobody's ever flushed out really. No one's giving really anything to be flushed out. Really, there's not enough meat on these characters. So it is good to see different characters shine, of course. But at the same time, if they're not flushed out, none of these characters are ever flushed out. Like King Triton, father character, he's definitely not flushed out at all. Not really. And even though we do have more scenes in here and whatnot, but then compared to what the movie, we barely saw him in the movie. Just only here and there, but still. Ugh. And yeah, I guess I have to bring up this character, Gabriella, if I'm pronouncing her name correctly. Yeah, from what I can tell and from what I read, she's supposed to be a Hispanic character. And yeah, she also can't speak either, so she does need assistance. So she has to use sign language to basically communicate, which I thought was a nice touch, actually. That's a very nice touch, really. So she's disabled, but at the same time, so other people from different races together hanging out. And of course, it's good that Ariel and her friends never made a big deal out of anything. That's great. I just thought that's a really, really good way to have it be inclusive and have representation when it comes to this kind of media. So, yes, of course, I can say that's a different good thing. So, but the thing is that my complaint here is that they don't do enough with the character. The people who made this show, they don't do enough with the character, unfortunately. I mean, I like the concept. I just wish they could have done more. Such wasted potential. Those some, yeah. Oh man, Christ Almighty! I'm just getting annoyed because this entire thing just came off as wasted potential. Okay, my main complaint. I'll keep it short because I kind of feel like my main complaint is just the same thing all over again. Because ultimately, my biggest problem is the writing. The writing is terrible in this. I mean, again, there are some good bits in this, which just makes me even more pissed off because they could have done a lot more with it. Like, for example, like the one character I just mentioned a moment ago, but that and also Keaton Triton. What does Keaton Triton do all day? So you mean to tell me he's just sitting around until his daughter gets into trouble and he has to fix it? That's how it's coming off. He doesn't really do much. What about the citizens of this kingdom? Where are they? Who are they? I never got a sense of an actual kingdom, unfortunately. 'Cause I don't know. Whatever. I mean, the show's okay. I guess it's kind of boring now, honestly. It's pretty boring, really. I'll give this an overall rating of 5.0. I think it's a 5.0 out of 10 for me, of course. If anything, it's just kind of boring, really. As always, thanks for watching and take care. See you.